What's up, guys? Not a day goes by anymore, it seems, where I don't get a call or a message from a friend or a direct message on Twitter from somebody else asking me where they should sell their sports cards, how they should sell them, and what they are worth. And so I figured it would be useful for me to make a video at least explaining the first part and maybe just diving a little bit into the other parts to help people get rid of their cards or know where the best places to sell them are. And so I've developed a top 5 power rankings, which has kind of changed over the years, but right now we're talking right now in 2021, where can you sell your cards? Where is the best place to sell them? And so I'm going to go through that because it seems like with the new popularity of the hobby, people are just digging up their parents' basement and bringing out cards and trying to sell them. And so I figure a lot of people might be searching for help on how to sell their cards. And so I'm going to go through the top 5 list as I see it, and then kind of break down why those are good and why those are bad, and then you can maybe hopefully figure out where you want to sell your cards. So when it comes to finding the value of a card, I think eBay is the best tool out there. I think price guides are a thing of the past as they only monitor sales here and there, and they kind of develop a high and low based on those sales. And so that's why you'll see like in a Beckett, you'll see like a low value and a high value, and that's like the lowest you should expect to see something selling for and the highest you should expect to see something selling for. But in the age of the internet, that is behind. And so you can just go on eBay and then search for what you're looking to sell and then click sold completed. And anybody that resells, that watches my videos or that doesn't watch my videos and resells probably knows that by now, that when you click sold, you can then see a running list of the last 90 days of sales of that item, and you can kind of then click filter, give me the most recent, and then just kind of go through those and find like the last 5 or 10 sales if there's a lot of them, and kind of just develop a value based on that you want to sell it for. But that doesn't necessarily mean eBay is the best place to sell your cards. And so I'm going to go through the top 5 list of places to sell your cards. Number 5, I would go with Facebook Marketplace, right? And the reason Facebook Marketplace is good is because you aren't going to pay fees. You're not going to pay the piper to sell your stuff. Now, of course, you do have the option to ship on Facebook Marketplace, and when you do that, you will pay fees. But if you're just looking to reach the local audience, the people around you, the people in your area, it's never going to hurt you to throw some cards up on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, I'm looking to sell these. This is what I have. I'll meet you in person to do the deal. I always meet at a safe place. My local police department has an online pickup area in their parking lot. It's under 24-hour surveillance. So if somebody were to cap my ass, it would be on camera. And I just feel a little bit safer with the cops right there. Most sleazebags won't meet you there, and so that kind of weeds out the riffraff for you. So that's a great place to sell, but of course you won't get a lot of eyeballs on you there, and there's not a lot of people that are just always casually searching the internet and going on Facebook particular to sell cards. But it is a good place to sell, and we'll start there as the number 5 place to sell your cards. Number 4, I would go with Mercari. That's M-E-R-C-A-R-I. Now, this is a great place to sell your cards, and actually up until probably 2-3 months ago, it was one of the better places to sell your cards. But since then, some things have changed on some other platforms that have really kind of shifted things in their favor. But Mercari is still a great place to sell and a great secondary place to list your items. Now, if you really want to get a lot of eyeballs on your items, then you'll go right down this list and do all of them like I do. So you'll put some on Facebook Marketplace, you'll put some of the same listings on Mercari, and you'll go right up the scale. Now, of course, with Mercari, you do pay fees, and you will have a shipping cost, so that will eat into your profits, right? And so that's why it can't be number 1, because there are better places to sell when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to shipping, the cheapest that you'll be able to find shipping on Mercari is about $3 to $4 per card, which is the first class at 1 ounce weight to most places in the United States. So you're gonna lose, so if you're selling like a $5 card, you're going to lose $4 off the top plus the fees. It almost becomes not worth selling. But higher end stuff, I will still put on Mercari because, hey, it's more eyeballs. Maybe somebody on eBay isn't able to get on eBay from where they're from or whatever. Maybe they have other reasons that they can't get on eBay. They did something with PayPal they weren't supposed to do years ago, and they've been banned ever since. I know people like that. And so Mercari is a great platform for selling anything, But with cards, it's a great platform. And the cool thing with Mercari is they only have 3 days to examine the item, decide whether they do or don't like it, or it's not in the condition that they wanted, and then after that they can't return it. So one of the things that it benefits you over eBay is that the return policy is better on Mercari. Now the customer service isn't really good on Mercari at all, but as far as returns, you will never deal with that 30 days later return like you do sometimes on eBay. I guess it would be 29 days later. Somebody changes their mind or the value of something tanks and they return it to you, and you kind of just have to eat it if they say it wasn't as described or whatever, yada, yada, yada. But Mercari is number 4. Number 3, the number 3 place to sell cards as far as I'm concerned is Twitter, right? And you're like, Twitter? How do you sell cards on Twitter? Well, there's a thing called the Hobby Connector, right? And you go on there, he's got a little green icon on his profile picture. You retweet the Hobby Connect with any card that you want to post a picture of. So you need to post a picture of the card. You need to retweet, you need to tag Hobby Connect in the post. And you also need to have a price in the post, because Hobby Connect is a bot that will automatically pick up when there's a picture and a price in the post, and then it'll retweet it to the like 25, 30,000 followers that it has, and people will just start DMing you, offers, or they'll DM you and say take, and then it's theirs, or they'll just comment take on the card so that everybody sees it, and you just sell them the card that way. And usually you can get people on there to pay you friends and family. Now, if I were buying, I would only pay goods and services, because that's the only way that you are protected by PayPal. So if you don't know the person and you're not sure that they vouch and they don't have vouches as their pinned tweet, then I would not pay them friends and family, because they can rip you off and there's nothing you can do about it. Not everyone will be willing to pay you friends and family, especially if you just started a new account, but goods and services is still only a 3% fee as opposed to a 12 to 15% fee on the other platforms. Now, another cool thing about Twitter is some people will buy cheap cards off you, like $5 and under cards, and they will allow you to ship PWE, which is plain white envelope, which is just the cost of a stamp and an envelope, as opposed to that minimum threshold of $3 to $4 that you get with first class in a bubble mailer, which previous to about 2 to 3 months ago was the only way you could ship on eBay, and it's still the only way that you can ship on Mercari. I hope that they offer a different service that they now offer on eBay to everything, but right now you can't. And so for Twitter, you can ship plain white envelope. Now the downside to plain white envelope is there's no tracking, and somebody could technically, when they get the item, just claim that they never had it, and then just to be the good Samaritan, you would have to refund them on the spot, or they would blow you up on Twitter. Now, I haven't had that happen once, and I've sold tons of cards on Twitter, and that's just never happened to me. So I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen, because there are always scam artists out there, and if you take it back to the old Beckett.com days, that's how things were done completely by plain white envelope, and everyone was just kind of on the honor system, and there were people that went around that on that. I actually know one very well. Things didn't work out for him in life. He kind of couldn't keep going down that path. He ended up in jail over stuff like that. And so you just got to be aware of that, and just know that plain white envelope, somebody might rip you off on that. And so if you're not for sure, or you're selling something that's more valuable than you want to lose, then don't send it plain white envelope. But that's the number 3 place to sell cards. I would say Twitter, and honestly it would be number 1 if it weren't for the factors that the next 2 places hold when it comes to eyeballs. And so without further ado, the number 2 place to sell cards right now in 2021 is eBay, of course, right? And eBay is great, especially now. The best thing about eBay is you'll get more eyeballs on your item there than you will anywhere else. Now, sometimes you'll get more views on Mercari, but for the most part, there are more people using eBay and buying cards on eBay than anywhere else. And so sometimes I'll post a card on Twitter, it just won't go, and then I'll throw it up on eBay and it sells within 24 hours. Now, other times you can take an offer from eBay and say, hey, I've been offered this. Go to Twitter and be like, does anybody want to pay this price? Because you can kind of cut it down by $5. So if somebody gave me a $35 offer on eBay, I can then run to Twitter and be like, hey, Twitter, does anyone want to buy this for $30? Because that's cheaper than you can buy it on eBay. Somebody offered $35. And also, not only is it doing a good deal for you, it's doing you a favor, but it's doing me a favor because $30 without fees is actually more than $35 with fees. So you save a little money there by selling on Twitter. But you know, I want to go back to eBay because it's actually better than Twitter, right? And that's because you'll make more sales on eBay. So despite you're kind of cutting yourself short with like 12% fees, you're actually making more sales. And the other reason that eBay is awesome is because of the new eBay standard envelope policy, right? You can ship for 51 cents a 1 ounce item, for 71 cents a 2 ounce item, and for 91 cents a 3 ounce item. And honestly, I've never used anything but the 1 ounce, and that's for like cards, 2 to 3 cards at a time. If you look at my last video, I show you how to ship those cards without using a top loader, which saves you even more money. But eBay is great because you can sell now down to a card as low as $1.51 and still make 50 cents off the card. So you can sell your common cards now and make money on eBay. And so with the ability to sell common cards and still profit, which you can technically do that on Twitter, but nobody's really going to buy them. And Hobby Connect is just going to get log jammed if you start retweeting $2 to $3 cards through there all the time. It's rather annoying, actually. The better thing to do is to take a picture of a lot and be like, hey, I'm selling all of these for $2 or $3 each. Take your pick. People will get in there and DM you. So don't clog up the Hobby Connect feed with $2 to $3 cards. But technically, eBay is a better place to sell them now because, and especially if it's like a $10 to $15 card, because this eBay program goes up to $20. So like a fee on a $15 card, you're going to end up, or a $20 card or something, you're going to end up paying like, you know, I don't know, what, like 24 cents on that actually is what you're going to pay, just, or 24 cents, $2.40. Sorry, I don't know why my math just did that in the head, but $2.40 is what you're going to shave off of that at 12 to 15%. So, you know, you don't want to lose that money, right? You want to sell it on eBay for $19.99 and not pay the $3 shipping. But you know, you'll pay the $2.44, but you won't pay the $3 shipping. And as we know, $3 to $4 shipping is more than $2.44. So that's one of the main reasons that eBay is better, because you can sell the cheaper cards with the 51 cent tracking on the product, and you don't have to worry about anybody scamming you or ripping you off with that. And I haven't had any problems. You can see my other videos on eBay standard envelope. It's great. But eBay is the #2 place to sell your cards because of the amount of eyeballs that you'll get on your product and the versatility in the types of shipping that they offer with the eBay standard envelope, and just because it's a large community where you're protected and there's a lot of people on there, and so it's got a good history, and you're probably familiar with it. So eBay, definitely #2. And then you're like, well, what's #1? Well, guess what? #1 isn't going to help a lot of people that have been in the game for a long time, but it is still, without a doubt, the best place to sell your cards, and that is card shows, right? And you're probably like, well, why is this even on the list? This is obvious. Well, in 2020, card shows weren't a good place to sell your cards because there really weren't any up until like maybe July or August, right? But I can tell you now that I've been going to card shows since July and August. I get a table every month at the same card show, once a month, and we haven't had a problem with COVID or anything like that. And so it's gone well. Everyone wears their mask. I mean, if that's your thing. And so I've been going to those for now 6 months, and it hasn't been a problem. The National is here in July in Chicago. I'm flying out to that, and that's going to be a big show with a lot of people in it. It might be the biggest National ever because of all the people that are into collecting right now. And so card shows are without a doubt. But why card shows, right? Well, you know, even if you're just one of the guys that walks around at a card show with your stuff in your bag, you're going to find people that want to buy your cards. You're going to find vendors that want to buy your cards, and you're going to find other people that are there that want to buy your cards. You need to talk to people, socialize, do that. And of course, when you're there, you're going to get a fair market price. You can at least get eBay sold price from your cards there. And you can even cut them a little deal because you're going to make more by selling it to them than you would on eBay, right? But also, everyone is there to buy cards, right? Like eBay, everyone is there, but not everyone is there to buy cards. At a card show, everyone is there in card buying mode, and so you've already got them on the hook. All you got to do is reel them in. And the other thing is you can get a table like I do, and then you're definitely going to make bank. Now, you can't do this all the time, but if you go to a card show and have a table once a month, you can make, 500 to 1,000 depending on what you have. Now, if you do that every day or every week, you're obviously not going to make as much unless you're just rolling in new inventory all the time. I doubt that you have enough to sell to people at that kind of velocity. Now, some of these guys that are doing only graded stuff, they do make that every show they go to. And so, it just depends. Like if you're digging up your parents' basement, I doubt you're going to make $500 every week at the card show, but you might go down there once and offload some of the stuff and not pay fees on it and not pay shipping on it and not have to worry about it. Now, if you get a table, you do have to worry about that overhead. But at the card show I go to, it's like $25 each, $75 for a table. We kind of split it for 2 tables, and we split it 3 ways. And, so then you only have to sell like $250 worth of stuff to be at 10% fees. And at that point, you're already beating eBay and you're not paying shipping. So you're winning all around. So card shows are still the king of selling cards. And I know that if you've been in the game a while, that wasn't groundbreaking to you. You probably already knew that. So definitely don't be afraid of card shows. Don't be afraid of getting COVID at card shows now. Wear your mask, do whatever you got to do to protect yourself. Bring your kids out, let them walk around, sell your cards. It's also a great place to buy cards to flip later because usually you can kind of negotiate with people on the spot as far as, negotiating digitally or online. It's a little bit harder sometimes, right? Because you can't really kind of fire back and forth, and you're not captivating that person. They might not be around their phone all the time, So at a card show, you can do that. You can kind of just go back and forth and do the thing, and maybe even come back a month later, and the same guy will be there, willing to give you a better deal on what he didn't want to sell you the last time. So, like I said, if you're in the game for a long time, that's not groundbreaking to you. But if you kind of just been getting back into the game and you're looking for a place to sell your cards, well, card shows, I can tell you, are still a hit. They are still the best. But if you can't make it to a card show and you're kind of in between, then definitely eBay. Then I would try Twitter. I would try Mercari. And even as a Hail Mary, I would throw some up on Facebook Marketplace and hopefully not pay fees there. So I hopefully kind of gave you some ideas where to sell your cards and why some of them are better than others. And you can kind of decide what fits your flavor the best so that, maybe you're not into going out in public yet and you want to do it digitally, or maybe you're not on Twitter and so that's not a good thing for you, so you want to go to eBay, or maybe you're just sick and tired of eBay and you want to try Mercari, or maybe you're tired of paying for full first-class shipping, so you want to go back to eBay and try the 51-cent standard envelope program. But hopefully I gave you an option there. Hopefully I gave you an idea of where to sell your cards and gave you something that works for you. But if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the page. Go ahead and hit that button in the bottom left corner, that ShipFlip logo. If you liked this video, go ahead and like the video. Comment where you are finding are the best places to sell your cards. But in the meantime, keep on flipping.